Hey there, this is David Breslow, founder of Performance Success Strategies and the creator of Wired to Win, the most popular golf-related performance program on the market. Stay tuned for today's golf training tip. In today's tip, I'd like to talk to you about an improvement in self-talk. You know, self-talk is written about in many, many articles. It's been talked about for a long time. And believe it or not, when I talk to players over the years, some of them actually don't know what I mean when I say self-talk. So for those of you listening who aren't sure what self-talk really means, well, it's very simple. What it really means is what you say to yourself. You know, those inner voices that are constantly grumbling at you, calling you names and judging you and criticizing you. And it also includes the way you talk about yourself to others. So, do you cut yourself down? Do you demean yourself? Do you make yourself small? Things like that. Many golfers, once again, over the years, when I actually do speak with them, they don't realize they're doing it. They'll be doing it while we're talking very unconsciously. They will demean themselves and cut themselves down and limit themselves by the words that they use. And they're not conscious that they're doing it. Well, what they don't understand is the power of those words are being used inside the body to create experiences. Now, I'm not going to explain to you here why that's true. That's done in the Wired to Win program, both the virtual program and the live coaching program, where it's very easy to explain why it's true. So, just for the moment, this is not an arena to do a whole workshop or anything like that. So, I'm just going to leave it at that for the moment, that please know that the words you use, both internally, the way you talk to yourself, and the way you talk about yourself, have meaning, because you assign meaning to them. And normally the meaning that golfers assign to them isn't very healthy. It's very negative, and it pretty much feels not so good. Okay. I'll just be kind about that for the moment, but it feels not so good. So I want to focus and target one little aspect of self-talk for the moment, because I get questions all the time. Yeah, so how do I talk better to myself, Dave? How do I be more positive? And, it's interesting to me when golfers ask me those questions, as if you don't know. You don't know what positive words are. Of course you do. But people ask questions like that because they just think they're supposed to. It's always pretty interesting to me. But let's focus on one aspect of self-talk. And I'm going to ask you to consider how often you use the word I, that very simple letter I in the alphabet. I'm no good. I didn't like this. I didn't hit a good shot. I blah, 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 and whatever you put after that. Did you ever notice how often golfers are using the word I, and then what they put after that is usually something pretty negative and not very good sounding? I could be better. I could be more consistent. I need to work on my mental game. Oh, I mean, it just goes on and on and on, doesn't it? Have you ever really heard yourself? Do you really notice? I'll bet you notice it in other people probably easier than you notice it in yourself. Well, I've talked to so many golfers over the years. I hear it constantly when they're describing their situations that they think they need me to hear to help them. They like to tell me all of the ugly things they do on the golf course, and they will give me description after description. Oh, and then I did this, and then I did this, and then I did that, and then I made a bad choice, and then I couldn't take my range game to the first tee, and then I hit a lousy tee shot, and then I got really angry, and then I thought people were kind of talking about me under their breath, and I thought they were judging me, and then I missed a short 3-foot birdie putt, and then I did, and it goes on and on and on, doesn't it? It sounds ridiculous when I say it, probably. I've heard that many times from clients. When I throw this back at them, they just kind of get quiet for a moment and go, wow, that sounds really ridiculous. I said, well, that's what you sound like. It's just that nobody's thrown it back into you. Okay. I'm known as the straight talk guy in the golf business because I'm going to say it. In fact, I'm going to throw it back at you so you can hear it. I don't even have to say it, but let's move on. So here's what I'd like you to do. Every time you catch yourself using the word I and putting something after it that doesn't feel good or is considered in the negative bucket, and that could be many, many different things, I'd like you to replace the word I with the word that, T-H-A-T. It's a very simple thing to do. I'm no good. I suck. I'm no good. If you replace it, do it right now while you're listening. If you replace the word I or I'm, anything with the I in it, if you replace the word I with the word that, you get a completely different experience. Here's why. When you say the word I, you're basically sending a message into your mind-body system that it's personal. You're actually attacking yourself, believe it or not. How silly is that? And this is coming from people who consider themselves very rational, doing some of the most irrational things I've ever heard. You're literally attacking yourself. I'm no good. Now it's really personal, isn't it? And that's why it's so difficult to get away from that experience, because it's personal. You're very attached to that. I'm no good. Okay? Very hard to get away from. Now, switch the word. Switch it to that was no good. That was no good. That was a bad shot. That was a poor miss. That was a lousy drive. Whatever it is you're doing. Okay? Here's the difference. When you use the word that, T-H-A-T, you are now separating yourself from the condition that you don't like. You're actually looking at it like an observer. It's almost like you're looking across the fairway and going, oh, that was no good. Do you hear the difference in my voice? I'm no good. That was no good. Much lighter. One's heavy, one's lighter. I'm always looking for heavy and light when I'm working with folks. They don't look at it that way, but I do. But as soon as you start looking at it as heavy and light, things really start to change. I'm no good. That's heavy, isn't it? You just hear it. You listen to it. Listen to yourself. I'm no good. I'm no good. That was no good. Completely different experience. Okay, if you don't believe me, do it. I really hope you were doing it right along with me right now, and you can actually feel in your body the difference between those two words. That is self-talk. If you do this one little exercise that targets I and the word that, that's all part of your self-talk. That will help change much of your negative self-talk if you apply this. So I really hope you enjoyed today's tip. And as always, I invite you to apply it. Don't just think about it and think about it and think about it and do nothing, because nothing will happen. I invite you to apply it. So if you would like to learn more about the Wired to Win program, and now is the time, especially for those of you listening in the cold weather parts of the world, spring is getting close. It'll be here before you know it. So go ahead and visit me at www.mentalgolfcoaching.com if you want to learn more about me. There's some bio information there. If you want to learn more about Wired to Win, there's information there too. So, hey, it was my great pleasure to be with you once again. I look forward to talking to you real soon. Dave Breslow, signing off. Take care.